Let's talk about what Mr. Beast did. Let's jump in. Hi, I'm Dani, honest to God, blind person. And if you're not following what Mr. Beast did, don't worry, I'll fill you in. We're going to talk about my thoughts on it, maybe some of the misconceptions that have come up about blindness that it's brought about, and what we can do to really help blind communities everywhere and spread some positive awareness on the back of something that I think honestly is a good thing. If you happen to enjoy my video and you want more like this, click that subscribe button and leave a comment. Let me know. Mr. Beast recently paid for 1,000 cataract surgeries for people in the US and in other countries and made a lovely feel-good video about it. He also gifted some people with money. There was a Tesla involved. I think this is wonderful. He's helping people who probably couldn't afford or access this care before, and he's curing blindness for these particular people. But there are a lot of things that this video doesn't talk about, and there are certainly a lot of questions that have come up because of it. So first things first, did he cure blind people by providing these surgeries?
Most of us see the world like this. But here's the thing, 200 million people see the world like this.
This clip showed clear vision and then images with a heavy blur over them. Did he cure these people in this particular instance? Yes, he did. But here's the thing that you need to know about that. Blindness is a huge spectrum. It's not one condition means you're blind, that looks like this thing. It doesn't work that way. It ranges from just barely not being able to drive to total blindness, and then all of the many spaces in between that. And in the US, we use very different terms for that, and sometimes I know that can lead to a lot of confusion in itself. So we use terms like low vision, visually impaired, of course blind and blindness, legally blind, and this is sort of my 2 cents on all that. Low vision and visually impaired are really, they're catch-all terms. They're catch-all terms. I fall under both of those, as do many people within the blind community. Now, when we get to legally blind, that is an actual legal term, and this one's pretty important to know. Legally, it means that at least in one eye, your vision is worse than 2200, or you have a severely impaired field of vision. Now, what 2200 means is that what a person with healthy vision can see at 200 feet, someone with 2200 vision needs to be 20 feet away in order to see the same thing. It's not really about the numbers or the distance. It's really all about how our vision works and the different conditions that affect each part of that. So that looks different for every single person, and this is another thing that I think makes blindness so confusing for everyone. And if you're confused, you're sitting back and you're like, I kind of want to know more, but I don't, it's a lot. I understand. It's a lot for me, and I am literally living it. So you're not alone, and it's okay to not understand all of it. You don't have to understand all of it. I think the important thing here is to understand that blindness is a huge spectrum. It's not a one label fits every single person who fits on the blindness spectrum. So this plethora of different titles that we use to describe blindness, low vision, visually impaired, legally blind, all of these things, yes, that absolutely can be caused by cataracts, which is the condition featured in Mr. Beast's video. The condition of cataracts also has its own spectrum, and I think that's important to know too. If Mr. Beast is out here curing blindness, why doesn't every person who's blind just get a surgery? Yeah? I know. Yeah, some of you are thinking, well, of course, all these conditions cause blindness. The surgery won't fix all. Yes, you're exactly right. You're exactly right. So a lot of these conditions just cannot be cured, whether that's by surgery or a big transplant or a medication. They just can't be cured. There's nothing out there for a lot of us with blindness. And I think that's the main takeaway here from this misconception. If you check out the video where I talk about albinism, I'll link it. I'll link it somewhere, and I'll link it in the description. I talk about the specific conditions that are part of my collection of eye conditions. There are a few, but I go into detail about them. I talk about what I can see, what it's like for me, and I'll also link an article below that I call "Why Can't Glasses Fix My Vision?" Which I think a lot of people make the assumption that if glasses can help your vision, then you can see, right? No, not exactly. But I'll link that below. If you want to learn more, please check it out. Please ask questions. Feel free to drop a comment below and ask a question too. I am always happy to answer them. So there are several other things to consider in this video. One that was brought up to me by a friend was whether or not these people are going to get the aftercare that they need, because this is just important in the US as it is in those other countries, because the reason these people couldn't get this surgery in the first place is because of the cost, the accessibility of finding and getting a doctor, and other factors that will also make getting the aftercare that they need a challenge. Now, I don't know if there was a plan in place. There may very well be some kind of plan in place to help make sure these people get the aftercare that they need and get the attention that they need in case something were to go wrong after the surgery, which can happen. It is surgery. There are risks. That is how it works. I'm gonna optimistically say that I hope there was a plan in place. There are charities out here doing the same kind of work that Mr. Beast did, and my hope is that he was going through one of these groups that already has the infrastructure in place to make all of this happen and to follow up that care with more care and to just make sure everything went as smoothly as possible for these people. That's my hope. I don't know the information there. I don't have all of the pieces to that puzzle, but you know, we're just gonna hope for the best here. We are. There are a lot of comments that say Mr. Beast just did this for clout or for tax write-off or some other motive. Is he making money on this video? Absolutely. You guys gotta keep in mind that YouTube is his job. It's at least one of his jobs. I feel like he probably has many at this point. So will he get a tax write-off or something similar? Probably. I don't know enough about that. That's not my area. I don't. But here's the thing that's important. Here's the takeaway in this instance. He paid for 1,000 people to get a surgery that changed their lives in a way that is meaningful to them. And here we are talking about it. We're getting to talk about blindness. It's so great. We're getting to talk about healthcare and lobbying for better healthcare and why aren't more people getting the surgery who need it? Like that's the takeaway here, is that we're getting to talk about the important topics because Mr. Beast did this thing and he made a video about it. So it's out there, and like I said, we get to go along for the ride, and we get to tag along, and we get to chat about the things that matter to a lot of us. So I think that's important. Honestly, do I support wealthy people using their money to help others? Of course I do. Why would I not? Would I absolutely love to see some of that money go towards lobbying for the change we need, at least here in America. I can't speak for other countries, but at least here, to make our healthcare system better, to make it more accessible to those who actually need it. Yes, I would 1,000% love to see people putting their money into that bucket. But do I get to dictate what people do with their money? No, no, I don't. It's not any of my business. It's not my right. I just hope that I can put my own opinion out there, and that someone will hear me and put their wealth to work, because I don't have any wealth. The last thing that I really want to talk about is something that was brought up in a tweet that Mr. Beast put out after the video was made. It says, I don't understand why curable blindness is a thing. Why don't governments step in and help? Even if you're thinking purely from a financial standpoint, it's hard to see how they don't return on investment on taxes from people being able to work again. So it seems like he's asking here why governments won't pay for a fairly inexpensive surgery that might allow previously working people to go back to work. That's a valid question. It's a completely valid question, and it raises a lot of concerns about our government, about healthcare in the US, that we're not going to get into in this video. But the misconception that I want to address is that many people assume that blind people cannot, do not, or don't want to work, and this is just not the truth. There are people out there on all levels of the blindness spectrum, just working, living independently, having families, and just doing all the things that society labels as normal. And they just happen to also be blind. They're out there. And it just, this is the thing that gets me. It hurts me to think that there are people out there under the impression that those of us who are blind and have other disabilities won't do everything in our power to just have all the things that society deems normal. Because as a child growing up in a society that was not built for me, I've had this condition my entire life. I spent years of my childhood just desperately wanting to just be normal like everybody else. I just wanted a normal dream like everybody else had. I wanted to live a normal life with a 9-to-5 where I could go to work and come home and maybe complain about my job and then go hang out with friends, you know, whenever I wanted. And this thought honestly has so many undertones of ableism, of internalized ableism, but that is for a whole nother video. If you do want to hear more about that topic or something else I've kind of glazed over in this video, or something else that's come to your mind while you're watching this video, just scroll down, you know, just scroll down into the comments and leave your question there, your thought, your topic, your curiosity. Like, leave it down there, let me know. And, you know, like the video, subscribe. This all tells me that you like this content and maybe you want to see more of it. My whole mission with content creation has just been about sharing perspectives. It's about sharing my perspective, about understanding your perspective, about understanding the perspectives of people I've met while I've been creating content. It's been incredible. There's so much power in knowing that there are so many other perspectives out there outside of the one we start with. And two people can experience nearly the same thing or the exact same thing, and I assure you their perspectives will not be the same. It's wild once you start opening up and you start realizing that there is a whole world full of perspective out there. The world just expands exponentially. It literally explodes. So be curious, ask kind, thoughtful questions, and be open to new perspectives. You know, don't go in with a set mindset that your perspective is the only one. Go in with that open mind and look forward to learning other people's perspectives, because it's a joy and it's a privilege and it is an honor to have someone share their perspective with you. I'm just gonna say it one more time. Like, subscribe, comment, do all the things. You know what? Unlike, dislike, thumbs up, thumbs down. I don't care. I really don't care. Do all the things. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.